Good morning, children. The next topic which we have is human digestive system. Okay, come on. Now be prepared. There are few names which will come up, so try to pay attention. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Clear? Here, the human digestive system can be broadly categorized can be discussed under two main headings. It comprises of digestive organs and accessory digestive glands. In the digestive organs, we'll take one by one which organs are involved. First and foremost part is the mouth. The mouth is also referred to as the buccal cavity. In the buccal cavity, you are having teeth. The teeth are of four different types: incisor, canine, molar and premolar. Incisor are generally used for cutting, canine for tearing anything, especially the carnivorous animal, they tear the flesh with the help of canines, and molar and premolar are for grinding. So four different types of teeth which are present in the mouth. Function of this teeth is to cut the food into smaller pieces. The second important thing which is present in the mouth is the tongue. Tongue has taste buds due to which you enjoy the food. But more than that, it is very helpful in mixing the food with the saliva. The food is thrown from one side to the other side of the mouth. It helps in sending the food in between the teeth and also mixing it with the saliva, because saliva contains enzymes due to which digestion starts. Correct? So, tongue's main role is mixing the food with the saliva apart from taste buds. Of course, you are talking with the help of tongue, I know that, but we don't discuss that part over here. Okay? The next region after the mouth is the pharynx. It is a very short region which connects the mouth, that is the buccal cavity, to the food pipe. A very small portion. When the food reaches this pharynx, then it is no longer in your control. You simply swallow it. Okay? Followed by food pipe. Food pipe is also called esophagus. It connects with the stomach. The food passes through the food pipe by a movement which is called peristalsis. Peristaltic movement is a muscular movement by which the food will pass through the esophagus. This is called the food pipe. There is no digestion going on in both these regions. Clear? Now, after the food pipe comes the stomach. Stomach is the most important part. It is present slightly on the left hand side, okay, and in the abdominal region. The inner lining of the stomach has glands which are called gastric glands. This gastric gland gives out three main secretions: HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, pepsin and mucus. Hydrochloric acid's role is to kill the bacteria, of course, which is there in the food. If at all there is any bacteria, it is killed by the hydrochloric acid. But most important thing is, it helps in digestion of protein, because hydrochloric acid is an acidic medium, and for protein, acidic medium is a must. It is in presence of HCl, the pepsin, the enzyme pepsin gets activated to pepsinogen, and the protein digestion starts. So in stomach, the digestion of protein takes place. Mucus is the third thing which is given out from the gland. It helps in protecting the stomach wall, the lining of the stomach wall. Why? HCl is very, very concentrated. Okay, around 1 to 2 pH. So very highly concentrated HCl. But your stomach linings are not damaged because there is mucus which is secreted. So these three things which are given out by the gastric glands is helping in the digestion of protein, at the same time preventing the walls of the stomach from being damaged. The food after 3 to 4 hours in the stomach, by the action of all these things together, gets converted into a semi-liquid or almost liquid substance which is called the chyme, chyme, chyme. This chyme enters into the small intestine. The small intestine has three parts. The first portion is called the duodenum. It is generally a U letter. Either some of the books show it as U letter, some of the books show it as C letter. It looks like the U letter of the English alphabet. This duodenum receives juices from two important glands. Okay, I told you in the beginning, digestive system has digestive organs and digestive glands. So there are two important glands whose secretions are received by duodenum. One is pancreatic duct from the pancreas and bile duct from the liver. The pancreatic duct is giving rise to three important enzymes: trypsin, lipase, amylase. Trypsin helps in digestion of protein, lipase helps in digestion of fat, that is lipid, and amylase helps in digestion of starch, that is carbohydrate. On the other hand, bile duct, which is secreted from the liver, it is called bile, the waste of the liver is bile. That is to emulsify fat. Emulsifying fat means breaking down fat into smaller pieces. So all this process takes place with the help of juices from the pancreas and the liver, and this stage starts in the duodenum. Again, another important thing is, in the stomach the environment was acidic. In the duodenum the environment becomes alkaline, basic. That is because of the bile. Then followed by the next region of the small intestine is called jejunum. This jejunum is a very short portion which is connecting the duodenum to the ileum. Ileum is the most important part of the small intestine. It is also the longest. It is 6.5 meter long. Your total length of the digestive tract from the mouth to the anus is 9 meter, out of which 6.5 meter alone is ileum, the coiled structure in between the cavity of the large intestine. Now this ileum internally is provided by finger-like projection which are called villi, V-I-L-L-I. This villi helps in absorbing the digested food nutrients. Digested food nutrients means by the action of these enzymes, the trypsin, lipase, amylase. Finally, the protein gets converted into amino acids, fat gets converted into fatty acids, and starch gets converted into glucose. So all these nutrients are then absorbed by the villi into the bloodstream. Finally, the large intestine. The undigested food material enters into the large intestine. There are two portions mainly. Colon. In colon, the undigested food, when it passes, the water is absorbed from it. Maximum water is absorbed. So the undigested food now becomes into a semi-solid structure. That semi-solid structure is stored in the rectum. And whenever the pressure comes, it is then removed through the anus by the action of the sphincter muscles. The waste which comes out through the anus is called the fecal matter. Okay? So through the anus, the sphincter muscles action helps in throwing the undigested matter which is called the fecal matter. So this is how your entire digestive system is summed up. Is that point clear? This digestive system has accessory glands, I told you, salivary glands, liver and pancreas. Salivary glands, they are found in the mouth, whereas liver and pancreas, they are tubes, they are secretions, they are poured into the duodenum, which I already explained just now. Is that point clear? So this is how your digestive system is to be learned. Now in your textbook, how it is given, the complete thing is given in a para form. So you'll have to search and find out for it. Therefore I gave you a flowchart form in the writing part. Okay, what I explained is a flowchart. In your textbook the entire thing is given, but it is given in a paragraph form. Clear? So here you find that the food is broken down. This is done by the help of the teeth, and the lining of the canal is soft, so it is made wet, okay, by the water. This water is nothing but saliva. Okay, your inner lining of the mouth is made wet by the saliva so that the food can be properly mixed, or it can be moved from one end to the other, and the breaking can also take place. Then with the help of the enzyme in the saliva, which is called salivary amylase, the starch gets converted into sugar. So see, digestion and system both are mixed together in your textbook. So when digestive system is asked, you have to only mention what I explained just now, whereas digestion, when it is asked, you will have to explain in a different way. Clear? So here digestive system and digestion both are mixed together. Now in the mouth there is tongue which helps in mixing the food. Then as the food passes, it will enter into the gut by the peristaltic movement I told you. Through the food pipe, when it is passing, there is peristaltic movement and it reaches the stomach. In the stomach, it's a large muscular bag, and it receives digestive juices. These digestive juices are coming from the gastric gland. Hydrochloric acid, then protein enzyme called pepsin, and mucus. And their roles are explained over here. Clear? Then, after which, in the next page it is given to you how the food is allowed to enter into the small intestine. Here, from the stomach, the food enters the small intestine. It's the longest part, and it is very compactly arranged in the small space. In herbivores, it will be still longer because they have to digest cellulose. Okay, they are not eating cooked food, so then the small intestine will be longer. Whereas in case of carnivores, it will be shorter. Small intestine is a place where there is complete digestion taking place. So carbohydrate, protein, fat, everything will get completely digested with the help of the secretion from the pancreas. The food from the stomach is acidic, is in the acidic medium, and then it has to be made alkaline by the pancreatic enzymes. So the enzymes from the pancreas and the bile helps in making the medium alkaline, that is basic. The bile juice from the liver will act upon the fat and it will break them into smaller pieces. That is called emulsification of the fat. I gave you this word just now. The pancreas secrete pancreatic juice, which is containing trypsin, lipase. Trypsin will be breaking down proteins, lipase will be breaking down the fat. The small intestine will finally convert the protein into amino acid, carbohydrate into glucose, and fat into fatty acids and glycerol. The inner lining of the small intestine has finger-like projection called villi, which will increase the absorption. So the food nutrient will be taken into the bloodstream, where it is then, from there it is sent to the different cells. The unabsorbed food is then sent into large intestine, where water is absorbed and rest of the material is removed from the body by the anus. And there is anal sphincter muscles which is regulating it. So see how the work is given in your text. Okay. Now if digestion is asked, how will you write the digestion part of it? If only digestion of food is asked, then you will explain like this. The digestion of food starts in the mouth. The moment the food is placed in the mouth, the saliva acts on the food. So the amylase, enzyme amylase, which is present in the saliva, breaks down, starts breaking or start acting on the carbohydrate, and it will break it down into glucose. So carbohydrate is a complex form. From that it will start simplifying. It will be converted into simple form, not directly glucose in the mouth, but digestion starts. Then the food is then passed into the pharynx and the food pipe. There no digestion takes place. But when the food reaches the stomach, the gastric glands gives out HCl and pepsin, and of course mucus is there, which I explained previously. Am I right? So the pepsin is converted into pepsinogen by the HCl. So the pepsinogen then helps in breaking down the protein into simple form. After 3 to 4 hours of action in the stomach, the food is then referred to as chyme. I told you, semi-liquid or almost liquid substance that enters into duodenum. In duodenum, the bile from the liver, it makes the medium alkaline along with the pancreatic juice from the pancreas. So the bile helps in breaking down the fat into smaller pieces. That is called emulsification. So emulsification of fat takes place and fat is converted into fatty acid and glycerol. Pancreatic juice has 3 important components: trypsin, lipase, amylase. Trypsin converts protein into amino acids, lipase converts fat into fatty acid and glycerol, amylase converts carbohydrate into glucose. So all this process takes place in the small intestine. Duodenum is a part of the small intestine. Duodenum and jejunum are the parts of the small intestine. By the time the digestion is over, in the ileum, there are villi-like structures which will absorb these nutrients, that is amino acids, fatty acids, glucose, water. All this is absorbed by the villi and it is passed into the bloodstream. The circulation of blood will help in giving the nutrients to different cells of the body. Finally, the undigested matter is thrown out of the body through the anus by the action of the sphincter muscles. So this is how if digestion of food is asked, you will have to write it. Clear? With that, the topic on nutrition is over. So in the textbook, you are having blue questions on page number 101, where they are asking you what is the difference between the autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. First point of difference will be, I told you, the autotrophs are autotrophic mode of nutrition is where the food is prepared on its own, either by the help of chlorophyll or in case of bacteria by chemicals. And heterotrophic is where the organism is dependent on the autotrophs for the nutrition. Then another point of difference will be that in case of autotrophic nutrition, there will be utilization of carbon dioxide, water, isn't it? All these materials will be utilized. We can give the example of autotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition are green plants and bacteria. Whereas heterotrophic nutrition, you can give number of examples. Clear? So these are two main differences between autotrophs and heterotrophs. Next question is, where do plants get each of the raw materials required for photosynthesis? From where are they getting? Now, which are the raw materials required for photosynthesis? Number one, carbon dioxide. From where does it come? Yes, from the environment. Secondly, it requires water. So that is absorbed from the soil by the root system. Third requirement is sunlight. Sunlight is as it is present in the environment only, isn't it? And then you have the nutrients. There are mineral elements which are required. These mineral elements are dissolved in the water, and through the dissolved form, when the water is absorbed, the minerals will also be absorbed by the root system. Do you understand that? So this is how the raw materials required for photosynthesis are utilized by the plants. What is the role of acid in our stomach? What is the role? Yeah, acid helps in making the environment, that means suitable for protein digestion. Chemical reaction of protein digestion requires acidic medium, and that is done by the help of HCl in the stomach. What is the function of digestive enzymes? Digestive enzymes, I told you just now, trypsin, lipase and amylase. So you'll have to give the fate of it. What happens? What does the trypsin do, lipase do, and amylase? Trypsin converts protein into amino acids. Lipase will convert fat into fatty acids and glycerol, and amylase will convert carbohydrate into glucose. Finally, how is the small intestine designed to absorb digested food? In small intestine there are finger-like projections called villi, which helps in absorbing the digested food nutrients. So instead of writing these answers, you may not write these answers. Instead, I would like you all to attempt only one question, and that is write or explain the digestive system in human being with a label diagram. Now for the diagram part of it, I will attach a video wherein the diagram drawing is shown in a very simple way. So you may just practice it, and then you may draw that particular digestive system, and along with it you will write down the digestive system, not the digestion of food. Remember, digestive system means, which I explained in the flow chart, isn't it? This is how the digestive system is to be written in statement. This is the flow chart which I have shown. Now you'll have to just explain it, which I had explained earlier. Clear or not? I'm just running through, taking the video down so that you can again sum up all this. So this is how you completely write the digestive system. So I hope you have finally understood digestive system. Nutrition is over, autotrophic, heterotrophic, and then the system of digestion in human being. Okay, thank you.